All right, let's continue on with our face-off between the Samsung Epic Touch 4G and HTC's EVO 3D, both available on Sprint. Let's take a little closer look at the user interface on both. On the Epic Touch 4G, it's running Android 2.3.4 Gingerbread. User interface is Samsung's TouchWiz 4.0. On the EVO 3D, you've got Android 2.3.3 Gingerbread and HTC Sense 3.0 UI. And on both of the devices, you're going to get 7 different panels that you can customize. There's a nice, one at a time, or if you give it a harder spin, you can see you get a neat little 3D rotation there on the EVO 3D. And again, the big difference is going to be really the look of the widgets. And again, I think most people find them more attractive on the EVO 3D than they do Samsung's TouchWiz 4.0, but they're not bad either. You've got a lot of customization options on the EVO 3D. You've got different scenes, skins, wallpapers, lock screens, and there's some things you can do with the lock screen that are pretty slick. Your widgets, oops, those are apps. On widgets, you have a total of, does it tell me how many I've got? Usually, here we go, browse all HTC widgets. We've got 80 different widgets that we can load on the Galaxy S2. Here's a look at all of the widgets, and some of these are actually even third-party. So you're not going to get anywhere near 80. You see my Go Weather widgets. So you're going to get a lot more customization is available through HTC Sense 3.0 than Samsung's 4.0 TouchWiz. Let's take a look at the notification bars on both, and the systems are a little bit different. You get Connectivity Manager shortcuts. Actually, you do on both. On the Epic Touch 4G, they're up at the top. You've got quick settings down here at the bottom, which will get you basically the same place, actually with a little bit more. Also tells you total memory available. Notification portion is going to look the same. You also get the last 8 applications you opened, so shortcuts for that. So quite a bit is available as far as notifications in the user interface on the EVO 3D versus the Samsung Epic Touch 4G. As far as main menus on both, on the Epic Touch 4G, it's going to move right to left, left to right. To edit, tap on here and you can go into the edit mode, and you can delete and remove applications from here if you like that you've downloaded, and also move things around and change the application shortcuts that are here at the bottom. Add folders, add a page. On the EVO 3D, it moves in separate panels, one at a time, as you can see vertically. You've got all your apps. You can mark favorite apps. Favorite or recent, frequent apps, and then downloaded apps. So you've got different categories you can set up, and you can do that on both. Those are main menus on both. Take a look at the task managers. Holding down the home screen on both will bring up your task manager. You get the last 8 or recent 8 tasks you used on the EVO 3D, which you can see there. You get only 6 on the Epic Touch 4G, but you also get a task manager that you can go to, which is really slick. And again, you can exit all your tasks. You can go into RAM and clear the memory as well. So that's pretty handy to have on that. As far as shortcuts, holding down on the home key, from the home screen, pushing down on the home key will open up a 7-panel overview. And again, you can tap on any one of those on the EVO to go directly to it, push down. Again, you can also squeeze it together. You can do the same thing with the Epic Touch 4G as well. And it seems to work a little bit better, honestly, on the EVO 3D. It's been their technology a little bit longer. There we go. But it does work on both. But yeah, the EVO 3D seems to handle that a little bit better. All right, so there's a look at some of the differences in the user interface on the Epic Touch 4G versus HTC's EVO 3D. All right, let's take a look at the messaging apps on both, and we'll create a couple new messages on both of these. And we'll send both of them to me. Where am I? There I am. And CRA, there I am again. All right, and let's go in and look at what we have as far as input on the, you can see on the EVO 3D we have swipe and touchpad. And I think what we're going to see is exactly the same thing. Samsung keypad and swipe on the Epic Touch 4G. Let's take a look at, first of all, both of these. The real difference is going to be, we got our numbers and symbols moved over. You've got some long press available on the in Sense with the keyboard than you, as opposed to the Epic Touch 4G, which is nice. You've got a settings menu available from the keypad. Both of them offer speech to text. What else have we got? You can reduce the keyboard from here, which is nice as well. Backspace will do it here. Hope I didn't want to go that far back, did I? All right. So the big advantage, you've got long press symbols here that you don't have here. You have to go to the symbol sign. We've got next, back on both, enter on both. So that looks pretty cool. Let's take a look at swipe on both of them. And there's our swipe keypad, and they look very similar. We don't really need this. Options menu, there you go. And here we're going to pretty much the same, microphones in the same place. Again, you've got long press for both numbers and symbols, which is great. So those are very similar. What do we have as far as attachments on both? Let's take a look. We've got pictures, video, video capture, contact card, contacts, appointment. Maybe a little bit more, I don't know. About the same on both. I'd say that was pretty equal. As far as the keypad, obviously you can have larger keys with the 4.5-inch screen versus 4.3. But I think both of them look very similar. I'll try a little swipe on both. Well, John on Tuesday. Call Join on Tuesday. Call John on Forfar. Anyway, there's a look at both of the messaging keypads. And let's take a look at both of them in landscape as well. I like the UI look on Sense. It's sort of a rounded look of the keys. But again, you're going to get a much larger key to use on the larger 4.5-inch screen from the Epic Touch 4G. All right, let's wrap up today's face-off with our browser comparison between the Samsung Epic Touch 4G and HTC EVO 3D, both available on Sprint. Got the both of them run off the same Wi-Fi network. I've cleared the cache and history on both, and both have flash fully enabled. And we'll start this out with Engadget, and we're off. And it looks like the EVO 3D a bit stronger out of the chute. Here comes the Epic Touch 4G. We got a pretty even race here, it looks like to me. And our winner is going to be the Epic Touch 4G, as you can see there. And you can see just how smooth it is. It is absolutely effortless. Try the EVO 3D, and you can see it's got that typical Android hiccup at the beginning. Once you get it rolling, it's fine. Some text rendering issues here, which is kind of unusual. Show you what I mean. You can see there. I'm sure if we double tap to zoom in, it'll show up just fine, but a little bit strange in the way it rendered out of the box. Double tap to zoom in, and again, it worked fine. As far as sensitivity, pinch to zoom, both of them work great. Both of them are pretty slick in that they offer dynamic rewrap to fit the display, which is very nice. As you can see right there, both of them very quick at it. So there we go. Now our text is rendering properly on the EVO 3D, as you can see there. That's what we would have expected from the initial download. And that looks pretty good. Let's head over to Smartphoneenvy, the mothership. And where is it? I know it's on both of these. There it is. And we're off. So our first heat, it was the Epic Touch 4G. It was a little bit quicker than the EVO 3D and definitely smoother as far as in operation when moving around the site. All right, this is neck and neck. Ooh, it looks like the EVO 3D might have taken the lead. Let's see. I think it's going to be the EVO 3D. Very close, trying to get the last final bits of flash loaded. It's kind of choking both of them off, either that or we're waiting for an email's downloading. EVO 3D was first, as you can see. Pretty smooth too. That last ad flash ad that goes right there in the upper right hand corner is killing the Epic Touch 4G. There we go, finally got it loaded. And again, you can see how smooth it is. Not quite sure why it had such a hard time on that. So we're going to have to run one more because we've got winners from both. And again, very, very nice browsing experience on both. Both very smooth. Double tap to zoom all the way out. All right, where should we try and go? Let's go into bookmarks on both. Let's try Pocket Now as our final speed test, because that's a good one. That's got a lot of flash on it, tough to load. And of course, we went to the mobile site first on the Epic Touch. Let's see what happens. See if we can pull it off and catch up. I don't think it's going to be able to, although it's giving it a shot. Still got to load the flash. We've only got one more flash ad on the EVO 3D to load. EVO 3D is done, and again we're waiting for the flash ad upper right corner here on the Epic Touch. There we go. Well, you know what? As far as how quickly they download, actually we can do this. Here we go. Let's double tap to zoom in. I got it now, said the blind man. All right, and we're off. See if you can get to that story first. The EVO 3D just cranks. Who's going to take it? Okay, we're down to loading the flash. This is it. Who's going to take it? EVO 3D. EVO 3D, excuse me, Epic Touch 4G. So what's the quickest on that one? So we're going to give the speed crown, and again, that could go down as quite a bit of argument, but anyway, I'm going to give it to the Epic Touch 4G as far as download speed, but they're both very, very close. As far as user experience, the Epic Touch 4G is a bit smoother to use when browsing the web than the EVO 3D. So anyway, there's our face-off today. I hope it's been helpful. This is Craig with Smartphoneenvy. Take care.